We are at video number 0013. Different ways for different temperaments. There are several paths to spiritual realization. People are born with different temperaments and tendencies. Some like to be active, others reflective, others affective, and engaged with their feelings. And others, the show me types, favor experiments. Let us see what works. Spiritual paths exist for each of these four types. Number one, active, energetic, action oriented, prefer doing and moving rather than sitting still or thinking abstractly. Number two, reflective, thoughtful, introspective, enjoy pondering ideas, observing and analyzing before acting. Number three, affective, emotionally engaged, in touch with feelings, value emotional experiences, empathetic and responsive to their own and others' emotions. Number four, experimental, show me types, hands on, curious, like to test ideas practically, learn by trying things out and seeing what works. Each temperament corresponds to a different way of people naturally approach life, including spiritual paths. For the active, there is the way of work, karma yoga. For the reflective, there is the way of knowledge, gyan yoga. For the affective type in whom sentiments prevail, there is the way of devotion, bhakti yoga. And for the experimental, let us see what works type. There is the way of meditation, Raj Yoga. A student is asking a question. You often speak of self realization, of knowing the true self, the spirit beyond the body and mind. But I have heard that there are different paths to reach this goal. Could you please explain why there are so many paths and what they mean? The Guru replies, that is a wonderful question. One that reveals that your heart has begun to awaken. Indeed, there are many paths because there are many kinds of people. No two minds are alike. One person is full of energy and action, always wanting to do something. Another loves to think, to reason, to seek truth through study and reflection. A third lives through the heart, finding meaning in love, prayer, and surrender. And yet, another seeks direct experience, to feel truth in silence and meditation. The Lord, in His compassion, has given to each nature a path suited to it. These are called the four yogas, as revealed in the Bhagavad Gītā. Number one, Karma Yoga, the way of selfless action. Number two, Jnana Yoga, the way of knowledge and wisdom. Number three, Bhakti Yoga, the way of devotion and love. Raj Yoga, the way of meditation and discipline. A student is asking another question. Why does the Lord provide four paths and not just one? Should not truth be one and the same for all? Why does the Lord provide four paths and not just one? Should not truth be one and the same for all? The Guru replies, truth indeed is one, as the light of the sun is one. But that light shines through many windows. Each window colors the light according to its glass. Similarly, truth shines through different temperaments of the human mind. The goal is one, union with the divine, realization of the self, freedom from ignorance. But the roots differ because our natures differ. A wise teacher does not give the same medicine to every patient. The divine teacher, too, offers the medicine that suits each soul's temperament. A student is asking another question. Please tell me more about each path. How does each one lead to that same realization? The Guru replies, Karma Yoga is the yoga of action. It is meant for the active, dynamic person, one who finds joy in doing, in creating, in serving. Such a person cannot sit quietly for long. Their energy seeks expression through work. But work binds us if done with ego. I am doing this. I will get this reward. The Bhagavad Gītā teaches to action alone you have a right, not to the fruits thereof. To action alone you have a right, not to the fruits thereof. This means perform your duty, but do not become attached to the results. Offer your work as a sacrifice to God without selfish motive. When work becomes worship, every act from sweeping the floor to leading a nation becomes a step toward freedom. The student is asking another question. But if I do not care for the results, how will I be motivated to work? The Guru replies, there lies the beauty of Karma Yoga. You work not for personal gain, but for a higher purpose. Your motivation shifts from what will I get to how can I serve? The shift from what will I get to how can I serve? This change purifies the mind. The ego slowly dissolves, and you begin to feel that you are merely an instrument of the divine will. Then action no longer binds you, it liberates you. Work done in this spirit transforms the marketplace into a temple. The Guru continues. Now, for those who are reflective, philosophical, and love to inquire, there is a there is the path of knowledge or Gyan Yoga. Such people ask, who am I? What is real? What is this world made of? What is permanent and what is passing? The Gyan Yogi studies, reflects, and meditates until all illusions fall away. They discover that the body, mind, and senses are not the self. They are changing and temporary. The true self, the Atman, is eternal, unchanging, and one with the supreme reality, Brahman. As the Gita says, the wise see the same self in a learned priest, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and even in one who eats the dog's flesh. Knowledge destroys ignorance, as light destroys darkness. Through discrimination, reflection, and meditation, the Gyan Yogi awakens to truth. The student is asking another question. This seems very difficult. To think deeply and always discriminate between real and unreal, is not this path for very few? This seems very difficult to think deeply and always discriminate between real and unreal? Is not this path for very few? The Guru replies, indeed, Gyan Yoga demands sharp intellect and great detachment. It is like climbing a steep mountain. Few may tread it easily, but its peak shines for all. Even if you cannot follow it fully, you can take a little of its wisdom, question, observe, and reflect. Every moment of awareness brings light. The Guru continues. Now, let us speak of the path of the heart, Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of love and devotion. This is for those whose hearts overflow with feeling, who love deeply, who trust easily, who long for union not through logic but through love. The Bhakt says, I do not want to argue about God. I want to love Him. This path transforms emotion into devotion. It teaches surrender, not my will, but thine will be done. As Krishna tells Arjun in the Gita, fix your mind on me, be devoted to me, sacrifice to me, bow down to me, and surely you shall come to me. As Krishna tells Arjuna in the Gita, fix your mind on me, be devoted to me, sacrifice to me, bow down to me, and surely you shall come to me. Love purifies the heart faster than intellect can purify the mind. Through prayer, chanting, singing, and service, the devotee's ego melts away in divine love. The student is asking another question. But if I surrender everything to God, won't I lose my individuality? The Guru replies, when a river surrenders to the ocean, does it lose itself or does it become infinite? So it is with the soul and God. True surrender is not loss, it is fulfillment. You do not vanish, you expand. The little I becomes the boundless I am. Love is the most natural path. Even the wisest and most active find peace only when their hearts surrender in love. The Guru continues. Lastly comes the royal path, Raj Yoga, the yoga of meditation. This is the way of the experimenter, the one who says, let me experience the truth myself. This path is practical and scientific. It begins with control of the body, breathe and senses, then mastery of the mind. Through concentration and meditation, the mind becomes still, like a calm lake reflecting the moon. When the waves of thought cease, the light of the self is seen within. When the waves of thought cease, the light of the self is seen within. The Gita says, when the mind, restrained by practice, rests in the self alone, one is said to be steadfast in yoga. Raj Yoga teaches discipline, patience, regularity, purity, and focus. In this silence, realization dawns. The student is asking another question. All these paths seem different: action, knowledge, love, meditation. Which one should I follow? The Guru replies, these paths are not different roads, but different lanes of the same highway. No one is entirely active or entirely intellectual or entirely emotional. Each of us is a mixture of all. Therefore, the best way is to blend them wisely, work selflessly, which is Karma Yoga, think deeply and reflect, which is Jnana Yoga, love sincerely, which is Bhakti Yoga, meditate regularly, which is Raj Yoga. When these four harmonize, life becomes whole. Work becomes worship, knowledge becomes wisdom, love becomes purity, and meditation becomes peace. The student is asking another question. Is it truly possible for an ordinary person to reach spiritual realization through these paths? Is it truly possible for an ordinary person to reach spiritual realization through these paths? The Guru replies, yes. The Gita does not speak to monks alone. It speaks to all humanity. It was taught on a battlefield, not in a forest, to remind us that spirituality belongs not to withdrawal, but to life itself. You need not renounce the world, only renounce selfishness. You need not give up work, only give up ego in work. If you live in truth, act in love, think in clarity, and rest in meditation, the divine will reveal itself within you. The student is asking another question. What will happen when one reaches that state? What will happen when one reaches that state? The Guru replies, when realization dawns, you see that you were never separate. The wave realizes it was always the ocean. The wave realizes it was always the ocean. Joy, peace, and fearlessness arise naturally. The realized soul sees God in all and serves all with love. They live in the world, yet are not bound by it, as the lotus that floats unstained upon water. The student is asking another question. Please bless me that I may walk at least one of these paths sincerely. The Guru replies, may your heart be pure, your intellect clear, your work selfless, and your meditation steady. Walk whichever path calls you, for all lead to the same summit where the soul meets the infinite. Always remember the message of the Gita. Whichever way a person approaches me, in that way do I accept them. All paths lead to me. Always remember the message of the Gita. Whichever way a person approaches me, in that way do I accept them. All paths lead to me. Now we come to closing reflection for you. The Bhagavad Gita's message of the four yogas teaches us a great truth. Spirituality is not one size fits all. You can be a teacher, you can be a farmer, you can be an artist, you can be a scientist, you can be a mother, you can be a warrior, and still walk the path of yoga. It is not about leaving life behind. It is about transforming life into a spiritual journey. Work with love, think with clarity, feel with devotion, and rest in silence. And you shall find God not somewhere else, but in your own heart. Work with love, think with clarity, feel with devotion, and rest in silence. And you shall find God not somewhere else, but in your own heart. Hari Om.